What's up my friends, welcome back to the Gamecast. Today we're diving into Dynasty Warriors Origins, the latest installment in the legendary hack and slash series. So is this game a fresh take on the classic formula, or are we getting more of the same? Stick around to find out, and trust me, I've got plenty to say. First things first, Dynasty Warriors is an action-packed hack and slash game set during the Three Kingdoms era of ancient China. This time around, the developers aim to give us a more narrative-driven experience with a campaign that focuses heavily on the origins of the key characters like Liu Bei, Cao Cao and Sun Jian. Think of it as a prequel that wants to deepen the lore while still letting you mow down thousands of enemies like a lawnmower on steroids. The story of Origins focuses on the early days of the Three Kingdoms era, delving into how the iconic leaders rose to power. You'll see Liu Bei struggling to unite people under a single banner, Cao Cao navigating the treacherous waters of political intrigue, and Sun Jian laying the foundation for his dynasty. The game's narrative tries to humanize these legendary figures, showing their motivations, doubts, and the sacrifices they've made. There are some genuinely compelling moments, like a tense confrontation between Liu Bei and Cao Cao that sets the stage for the rivalry. However, while the main beats are solid, some of the subplots feel rushed and underdeveloped. The pacing can also be inconsistent, with long stretches of action followed by cutscenes that don't always land emotionally. Still, for fans of the lore there's enough meat to keep you invested here, but for newcomers it might be hard to stay interested. So before we dive any deeper, I want to do a quick talk about the team behind Dynasty Warriors Origins. The game is developed by Omega Force, the Japanese studio, of course famous for creating the Dynasty Warriors series and its various spin-offs, like Hyrule Warriors and Fire Emblem Warriors. They've been perfecting the art of hack and slash games for over 2 decades, and their experience of course is evident in the sheer scale and fluidity of the battles. That said, Omega Force does have a reputation for leaning heavily on its established formula. While Origins adds some new mechanics, it's still very much a Dynasty Warrior game at its core, for the better or the worse. Now let's talk gameplay, because that's what you guys are here for. The combat in Origins introduces a new stance system, and it's surprisingly deep. Each character has 3 stances: offensive, defensive and support. Switching between them in real time adds a layer of strategy, especially during boss fights. It's a fun twist, but let's be honest, most of us are here just to see how many enemies we can juggle in the air at once. Spoiler, it's a lot. Leveling up is pretty straightforward. You gain experience from battles, complete side missions and collect resources to upgrade your weapons and skills. The skill tree is decent, but nothing groundbreaking. You've got your typical attack boosts, combo extensions and passive buffs. It's functional, but it won't blow your mind. It's like going to a buffet and realizing the mac and cheese is just okay. You'll still eat it, but you're not writing home about it. Outside the main campaign there's plenty to keep you busy. Side missions are plentiful but can feel repetitive after a while. You'll also find collectibles scattered across the maps like rare weapons, character scrolls and historical artifacts. These add a nice touch for completionists, but for casual players they might not feel the need to chase them all. Now let's address the voice acting when you play it in English, because well, it's a mixed bag. Some characters deliver their lines with genuine emotion and authority,
but I see no reason not to give them a chance,
making the story moments feel impactful. Others, however, well, sound like they're phoning it from their couch.
The same type the yellow turbans use to create their illusions, but right now, it's being used for communication.
It's not downright terrible, but it does break immersion when a supposedly intense moment is delivered with all the enthusiasm of reading a grocery list. The main campaign will take you around 15 to 20 hours to complete, depending of course on how much you engage with side content. If you're a completionist aiming to collect everything and max out your characters, I'm guessing you're looking closer at 40 hours. It's a decent length, but the repetitive nature of the gameplay might make it feel longer than it is. If you're a longtime fan of the Dynasty Warriors series, you'll feel right at home here. The classic formula is alive and well, with just enough tweaks to keep things interesting. For newcomers though, this might be a decent entry point, especially if you're into historical settings or just love beating up hordes of enemies. That said, if you're looking for deep storytelling or groundbreaking innovation, you might want to look elsewhere. So, is Dynasty Warriors Origins worth your time? Well, if you're a fan of the series or need a mindless action game to unwind with, absolutely. But if you're looking for a revolutionary experience, you might find yourself saying, been there, done that. So that's it for today's review. Let me know in the comments if you've played Origins or if you're planning to pick it up. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any video of the Gamecast. And remember, even when enemies come in thousands, keep smashing those buttons.